Well, hey everybody, John Rickland here, and this is a Raw Jane Austen review. I don't know why I'm calling it Jane Austen. The title makes as much sense as anything else to happen on this motherfucking show, because this show was a goddamn mess. Now, it was better than last week's, but that's not saying much, because I think an episode of Nitro from 2001 was better than last week's Raw. So, this is the Go Home Raw for Super Showdown, which is taking place in Saudi Arabia, a vibrant, progressive country. Unless you're a woman, or a gay person, or Sami Zayn, or people like that, or Aleister Black because you have too many weird tattoos. But anyway, I'm putting this shirt up here, the Pride shirt, because I'm celebrating Pride Month. You know why? I have many friends, family members, and loved ones that are part of the LGBTQ community. And you know what? Do your part to just support them as human beings, because that's what they are. They're human beings. There's no reason to be homophobic, transphobic, all that shit. You know why? You know why? Because it's fucking stupid. So quit being that way. But anyway, let's get on with, Reigns. He got some boos, but mostly cheers. I think they were just happy. It's like, hey, we're kicking off with somebody that's a big star. I don't think Reigns is as big of a star as they need him to be, but still, at least he's there. Super Showdown plug. That gets some boos, as expected, because Super Showdown is shit. Look, I get it. WWE has gone into bed with the Saudi Arabians. Well, the government specifically. And they're getting an assload of money. I don't blame people for getting a lot of money. It's just a slap in the face of so many hardworking employees that can't go there, like the women, or like any of the gay people that, are employed by their company. But that's okay, because people like AJ Styles have no problem with how the Saudi Arabian government treats the gay community, and I'm sure he'll be at that show. But I digress. Cole mentioning about, Brock Lesnar talking about, he talked about when he was going to, cash in or something like that. He says, it's not a question of when, instead of a question of if, but a matter of when. Cole is terrible at his fucking job. Commentary was pretty goddamn bad tonight. But then we get Shane. No more. I'm done. Why do we have a 49-year-old idiot out here who is in great shape? And Shane clearly has a passion for what he's doing, but nobody wants to see Shane McMahon in the ring still in 2019. This isn't even 2009, the last full-time year that he had in the company before he left for 6 fucking years. We don't need to see Shane on every single Raw and SmackDown, because you know what? It's fucking stupid. And it is, because all it's doing is taking away spots from people that actually fucking deserve it. And deserve TV time. They only have about 8,000 wrestlers and, managers and other people that could be managers, 8,000 people that are employed in that company. At the very least, it could be in-ring, out, around the ring talents, or anything. They just need to utilize their people better and not have Shane McMahon there. Now, granted, this is probably a network call, because USA Network is full of idiots, and so is Fox. Fox is also, demanding a whole lot of money, and a whole lot of big ratings from, after paying a whole lot of money to WWE, they're going to demand a big return and ratings. And Fox is also full of a bunch of racist idiots, but let's move on with that. So we get Reigns, Reigns versus Drew at Stomping Grounds. They're already hyping Stomping Grounds, which, by the way, is 70 miles from me. And guess what? I'm not going to be going. Why? Because I don't fucking care. It's a beatdown. And then we get all the guys out there are going to be part of the 6-man tag. And we get Reigns and the Usos versus Drew in the Revival. Shane at ringside. Enough. This is the second straight segment with Shane in there, and this match went 2 commercial breaks. It would come back for a few minutes and then go to a commercial break. I get they got to get their TV money, but they got to pace these commercials out better. They're barely giving any wrestling time to the actual show. There were 4 matches. 4 fucking matches on this show. 4! There was 1 in the first hour last time. Last week's episode. Guess what? At least they got to the first match within the first 10 minutes, so I'll give them that much credit. But then we didn't have another match for the rest of the hour. And then we had, or at least I don't believe so, or I think the second match there, but the whole point is they had 4 matches. 4 matches. The match was fine. Renee had to mention the Usi hot stuff because they're forcing Renee to say bad shit. And Drew pinned an Uso. I don't know which one. And then Reigns got beat up. And a Claymore kick and whatever. And Shane even hit a spear. Terrible looking spear. As bad as his work punches. And then we get the Firefly Funhouse ad. We're getting this tonight, and I'll get into it a little bit later. Lance Armstrong and Matthew McConaughey there, going nut at ringside. Yeah, that happened. Whatever. I mean, whatever. Hey, they got celebrities there. A known cheater and a guy that, likes to play the bongos naked. Whatever, at least McConaughey's actually had a decent career. Sahara notwithstanding. No, Sahara wasn't that bad. But anyway, off topic, back to the topic of Miz TV. Yeah, the Matthew McConaughey reference at the beginning, all right. That was pretty funny by Miz. Rollins got interviewed. And then we get Brock and Heyman teasing to cash in. And look, I'm sorry, but I don't care about Brock being the Money in the Bank briefcase holder unless he's going to cash it in and get this shit over with. They already gave him the Universal title for too goddamn long. We do not need him being the briefcase holder for this fucking long. We don't fucking need it. It's fucking rotten. It's just fucking terrible. It just really is. And I mean, I know it seems like I'm rushing through a lot of this show because there wasn't a lot to this show. Last week's was just like so bad because of like just every single thing wrong that they did. This show, they just didn't seem to give a shit. They just want to get to Saudi Arabia, get it over with, because Vince knows, besides the money he fucked up big on this, that morale is at an all-time low in WWE. Fans don't even really want to watch this. I will be watching Super Showdown, by the way. A, because the viewers demand it. And B, because I like watching train wreck wrestling. And you know what? WWE didn't beat me down for years and years and years, even in the Attitude Era, or even in the early 90s, or the mid-90s when I was watching WCW as well. If they didn't turn me away for longer than like a month or like a few weeks at some points, like throughout the years, I'm not turning away now. I'm not going to turn away, even as much as I hate this show. But anyway, and I mean Super Showdown, because there's still good people in the entire company. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, we get, yeah, teasing to cash in, that didn't end up happening. And then we get the Kucha House Party or the Lucha House Party. We get them here, and they're out. And then Lars beats them up. Lars beating up 3 Hispanics. What could possibly go wrong? I don't know why this happened. Unless Lars loses to the Lucha House Party at Super Showdown, I don't know really what the point of this is. Because giving him 3 Hispanics to beat up, I guess is something he can fap to. And now you can't unsee it either. We get the Iconics, Nikki Cross and Alexa. Okay, we get the Iconics making fun of Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross kind of playing the meek kind and whatever. And Alexa defending her and saying, no, you can't do that. And whatever. And yeah, okay, that happened. And we're going to get Nikki Cross versus Peyton Royce. And Alexa's going to be at ringside. Because Alexa can't wrestle anymore. Well, actually, she does a little bit of stuff later. But anyway, we then get Becky. And she says she has done, plenty of things. 63 things to be exact. I'm sorry for making fun of her accent. She's beautiful and actually just one of my favorites, but I just couldn't help it because I had to make fun of everything. Because I make fun of myself also. But anyway, Lacey, little Peacock, who's a daddy's girl and needs daddy's attention or something like that, calling Charlotte that. Because Charlotte came out all of a sudden. Because Charlotte isn't on enough shows. By the way, wild card rule. That's still in effect. Why, I don't fucking know. Fucking ridiculous. But anyway, Charlotte's promo was meh. It was what it was. I mean, look, these are 3 top stars, I will say that, and I will put Lacey as a top star. Though I'm worried that if they try to rocket her too soon, it could backfire. Though I think that she has the character worked out and her moveset is getting better in the ring. She has a good presence. But then, well, before we get to this match, it's Charlotte and Lacey. I'm going to point out a Stephanie tweet that she put up earlier. And it was about, the quote was, I believe women are the most powerful creatures on earth, and shows a pregnant woman, could have been a silhouette of her, I don't know, and a baby being born, and it was like motherhood and this kind of stuff. Okay. Yeah, she believes that women are the most powerful, most powerful creatures on earth. So that's why your dad's taking a whole bunch of Saudi blood money, because he doesn't like women. Okay, just glad you clarified that, Steph. Really glad you clarified that, you dumb bitch. To be fair, she has kids. I'm not going to fault her being a mother. But fucking Christ, she comes off as a disingenuous cunt. So, Lacey and Charlotte, look, the crowd was cheering Becky mostly because Becky was at ringside. Charlotte and Lacey can have a good program and hopefully be a team at some point. I thought that was going to happen on SmackDown, and then that didn't end up happening because they end up attacking each other. I personally think they will end up eventually teaming, but Becky ends up causing a DQ. The match was not very good, mainly because the crowd didn't give a shit. The women were trying. They were trying really hard. There were some good moves, but just something seemed off. By the way, this is one women's match that is not going to be happening at Super Showdown. You know why? Because they hate women over there. They treat women like queens. No, they fucking don't. They couldn't fucking drive for a while, and women are still jailed for speaking out. And so are gay people. So you can fuck off with that shit right there. So we then get Lacey win. We get Lacey winning by DQ apparently because she got attacked. And Corey Graves says Lacey wins by DQ. She gets more money. So apparently we're back to the Ventura Monsoon days where Ventura talked about if the winner gets more money. So they treat it like a sport and everything. So we're just suddenly back to the 1980s. I mean, even the early 90s, they mentioned that. I mean, even in WCW mentioned that. I don't know what the fuck's going on anymore. That was a weird line. And then we get Taker, Survivor Series 90 recaps. The better days, when he was a ginger snap. We then get Ray being injured. He is relinquishing the title. He talks about, he has his arm in a sling and everything. I think he hurt his shoulder or his elbow. I don't remember exactly what. I don't really care. I mean, Ray probably shouldn't be wrestling a full-time schedule anymore. And then Joe's out there, and Joe making anything work, doing this and saying, okay, hey, I'm gonna beat you up for the title and everything. Oh wait, give me that title. I never lost it. It was messy, but Joe made it work. This whole thing was messy. Ray should have never won the title. Injury or not, he should have never won the title. Joe then takes the title, because it's like, okay, his shoulders were never on the ground, all that. And then Ray gets choked out. Joe is choking out a small child, pulling a Benoit. Unhinged me on reviews is really, really bad. I probably should make sure that the next time that Derb is on the reviews, which is 2 weeks from now, that maybe I let him shoulder most of this because I'm kind of just not giving a shit anymore what I say as opposed to, the nice person I usually am. We then get a Cesaro Ricochet promo battle back and forth, the selfie promo thing. And look, if you're going to do these selfie promos, don't make them so fucking scripted. Ricochet's in particular was so badly scripted, he was stumbling over his lines. Ricochet and Cesaro, are not that great at talkers, but they can do better than this. They got to stop scripting the people so much. We then get an arm wrestling contest between Braun and Lashley because Triple H versus Scott Steiner 2003 or late 2002, early 2003 taught them nothing. This was bad. This was really, really bad. And it looked like Braun was going to win, and then Lashley claimed he was slippery, so he got some white powder and everything, and he still lost. And then he threw the white powder in Braun's eyes because, of course, they had to have somebody black use something white to gain the advantage. I get your subtlety there, Vince, with the racism, because people like Lashley can't be champion. At least in this era, I know he was in 2007. Remember the WWE CW title? I wish I didn't. But yeah, he then picks up Braun in an impressive power slam. But who asked for this? This doesn't even count as a match. We are not in the Crockett era with all this powder and everything. And Mid-South and a whole bunch of bullshit with all this powder. And even WWE used the powder at times, but just... And I love Cornette, but that's one thing they could have left in the past. And they used it in the Juice Robinson, Chase Owens thing. That match for the U.S. title, which was really, really bad. We then get more 24/7 stuff where Jinder pinned Truth on a golf course to win the 24/7 title, and then Truth won it right back. And then we get Drake and EC3 looking so disinterested C3. I mean, boy, my wordplay needs work. And refs, they're trying to find Truth. And then we get Nikki Cross with Alexa versus Peyton Royce with Billie Kay. This match mainly boiled down to some good exchanges. Peyton really can wrestle. Lance Storm does not train slouches. Nikki is good when she's allowed to be. Billie and Peyton have a tremendous gimmick, tremendous characters. They just aren't allowed to do anything or allowed to win, apparently. And the whole point is there's somebody brings down a couple coffee mugs. And Alexa's drinking coffee. Wait, really? Billie's like, really? What the fuck? And, I mean, she doesn't say that. She could have been saying it under her breath for all I know. I know I would have been during this segment. But then the coffee gets spilled, and then Alexa slips in the coffee, and she's wearing white pants. Because shit-type jokes are funny. That's probably why Vince wanted it to happen. Make it look like she shit her pants. Because fart jokes, pal. Vince is weird. But then, because of that, Alexa ends up... She first splashes some coffee at Peyton. She ends up falling in the coffee after it gets spilled. Nikki Cross wins. I have no issue with Nikki Cross winning, except the Iconics are always losing singles matches or tag matches or 6-woman tags. Why were they given the tag titles if all they're going to do is lose? And I love watching them win the tag titles, but it's fucking stupid to watch them do this because they deserve better. They really deserve better. And then, yeah, we get Rollins with the Brock tease. No, that's not a euphemism. Corbin's here because we don't have enough boring shit going on with this show. They brawl a bit. Okay, whatever. Rollins dives outside. We get an end of days soon after. And then we get Brock coming out. He is going to cash in. Nope, he hits Rollins in the groin. Can't even talk now. Hits him with about 80,000 chair shots. Even busts him open on the shoulder and the back. That looked pretty fucking painful. F5 outside. More chair shots. He won't cash it in. He's cashing in on Friday. Because the Saudis demand a title change. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if Vince, has a title change there, they won't hack a journalist to death with a bone saw. They'll just take off one limb. We then get a stretcher job. So, of course, Rollins is taken back there, and Becky's with him. Okay, Becky's there in the ambulance, and the ambulance starts a-rocking. Don't come a-knocking. It didn't happen, but maybe it happened after the camera went off. Firefly Funhouse. We get a Husky Pig, or Husky's the Pig. I know what all this shit's representing. The Husky Pig is representing when he was Husky Harris and bigger, and even when he was Bray Wyatt and bigger before he got in better shape. And I will say that Bray Wyatt is in better shape. And we get a Vince puppet, where he's saying like, oh, you better get into shape or you're going to get fired and this kind of stuff. And he's in workout gear. And we have this thing called the Muscle Man Dance. I'm sorry, what the fuck is this? Why? Just why? 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 Why is this happening? Why do they hate Bray? And look, Bray is doing his best to sink his teeth into about that much material and make it work. I'm sorry, I don't mind stupidity in my wrestling. I don't mind ridiculous in my wrestling, but the Firefly Funhouse and the 24/7 title are neck and neck as far as stupid shit in wrestling. And I wanted to give them a chance. I wanted to, but I just couldn't because I could see the light at the end of the tunnel, and the light was blinding. As in, it was going to just nuke my eyeballs and everything. It's just so fucking bad. I'm sorry. This is bad. If people like it, that's fine. I just don't fucking like it. I just can't fucking take this. I can't. It's terrible. It's terrible. It makes Bray look like a goof. They've already gone way past the point where they should have had him in the ring, and now he's probably not going to show up until Stomping Grounds, if not after that, and that's in 3 weeks. He's not going to show up in Saudi Arabia. I mean, why the fuck would you have that gimmick debut? They might actually have him debut there, but it would have to be watered down because they might actually think of it as an actual attack because they're all idiots over there, especially the government. Crown Prince being a dumbass, that he is. It's like westernizing. You hate anybody that isn't a man in the government. Admit it. But yeah, Firefly Funhouse hated it. Absolutely hated it. Orton Triple H Super Showdown hype. We get... Yeah, a few zingers, modest NXT chants, but they're really, really silencing. I hate to say it, but I think the bloom's kind of off the rose with Triple H being the savior of the company. And, of course, Orton says, why don't you retrieve your balls from Stephanie? Triple H retorts, you never had any. Yeah, we're third graders. That's what we are. That's what we're watching here. No, you're poopy. No, you're stinky. Yeah, that's basically what they should have been saying. We then get sound effects from Ricochet's entrance. That was a shout out to the Derb, even though he's on vacation currently. Again, that's why you're getting Unhinged Knee. Ricochet versus Cesaro. Good match. It was what it was. Yeah. Ricochet won. Cool. And then Cesaro beats him up afterwards, gets a table, and Truth is under this table. Somehow. I don't know why. I don't know how he was hiding there. I don't know when he got there. I don't care. I don't know what's going on. Somehow. And then we get more 24/7 stuff because Ricochet and Cesaro are, whatever, that segment's over. Everybody runs down there. Cedric does a dive on everybody. Truth and Drake are facing off because Cedric apparently, one dive from Cedric wipes out everybody. And I love Cedric. This is the first time Cedric's been on Raw in about a month, by the way. Or at least in anything meaningful. Meaningful. Let's go with that. We then get Carmella super kicking Drake. I thought Drake pissing himself was actually the worst thing that they had him do. I think him doing this actually is worse. Again, I don't mind fun in my wrestling. This is not fun to me. There are other people like 24/7 talent. That's fine. You can like it. Go ahead. Oh, and Taker comes down and says, he talks about Goldberg and he says, if you don't bring your best, I will unleash an inhumane amount of brutality. So Taker really is trying to channel the Saudi Arabian government right there. I will keep knocking the Saudi Arabian government because what the fuck are they going to do? I'm all the way over here. I'm just an American. I clearly don't know what it's like to be in a vibrant, progressive country. D, It almost sounded like I wanted to give it an F. I'm going to give it a D because I liked what Ricochet and Cesaro did. I liked the match well enough. I like the fact that they gave the women 2 matches, that the women got, 50% of the matches on here. And as 2 more matches are going to get at Super Showdown. Granted, I'm glad the women aren't going to go there because I want them to be safe. Because they wouldn't be safe there because nobody is safe over in Saudi Arabia unless you're a frickin' man that, is probably in bed with the Saudi Arabian government. Except if you're in bed with the Saudi Arabian government, they will kill you. Anyway, pull up there. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rittler, and I will see you tomorrow for SmackDown.